Nice TV, Moshie Wa Gĩkeno.
Maũndũ maingĩ marĩa tũgũkorwo tũgĩtirithania nawe nginya rĩrĩa irĩhanda thaa thinacara na ndagĩka 50. Tarĩki nĩ 30 mweri-inĩ wa 10 mwaka wa 2022 tũgĩtigĩti mũthenya wa ũmwe tu tũkorwo tũkĩingĩra mweri wa November, mweri wa 11, na mũthenya wa ũmũthĩ tũgũkorwo tũgĩthoma maũndũ megiĩ stress, na ndũgakĩriganĩrwo ũrathi na mbere na kwaranĩria na ithuĩ kũrĩ mũno wa Facebook Nice TV KE Mũciĩ wa Gĩkeno. Gakorwo kĩndũmĩra ndũmĩrĩri mwena ũcio na nĩngũkorwo ngĩgũtambũra wenda gũkorwo kĩũria namba itũ ya ndũmĩrĩri nguhĩ nĩ gĩbũgũ 7 1 7 na ndũkariganĩrwo kũrĩ mũna wa Instagram nĩ Nice TV Kenya, Twitter Nice TV Kenya, TikTok nĩ Nice TV Kenya. Mũthenya wa ũmũthĩ tũkĩrũgamĩrĩirwo nĩ andũ megwĩtwo Nice Records. Nice Records makoragwo magĩkũrutĩra rwĩmbo magatigĩrĩra nĩ rwakinyanĩria ikĩro, na ũngĩenda gũkorwo kĩaranĩria nao nĩ gĩbũgũ 7 gĩbũgũ. Na kama kawaida mũthenya wa ũmũthĩ akĩririkana tũkoragwo tũgĩcenjia rũthiomi, tũkoragwo tũkĩhũthĩra rũthiomi rwa Gĩthũngũ nĩ ũndũ wa arĩa ngoragwo nao matikoragwo makĩnyita Gĩthũngũ. Sir Emmanuel, wanna start?
Hello viewers, once again it's very good to be back here and to interact with you, and I look forward to just sharing with my brother and everybody else out there. Thank you for the feedback that we're having. It's very encouraging, and we look forward to having a great time together.
And thank you very much, Mr. Japhet. What do you have today?
Thank you, our viewers. Let me take this opportunity to welcome you. I know that every day is a learning day, and as we learn, we make our lives to be better. I hope today we are going to interact more. We're going to make ourselves to understand more about stress and how the stress can affect ourselves, even our workplace. Welcome.
Thank you very much for coming today. And today we're gonna talk about stress, and I believe this topic is a wide topic, so we're gonna be answering our questions briefly. So to avoid that time, we need to manage time. First, we need to know the definition of stress before we continue, so that our viewer can understand the meaning of stress. So, Sir Emmanuel, just briefly, define the word stress.
Stress is a situation when that comes up when things go beyond what you think is something that you actually can handle. So, in that way, then, just like you said, it is at different levels. But when somebody gets to a place where they're thinking that they cannot fully handle this, and they're losing control, then that becomes a stressful situation.
Thank you very much, and I understand that. What, Japhet, you understand the word stress?
Let me answer from, no, I'm a professional. Let me answer professionally as I understand. Stress is how our body reacts to the occurrences. I mean, like our body, once we are faced by circumstances, we have a way our body reacts. Let's say, for example, like we are under pressure. When we are under pressure, like we are under pressure to do something, our mind and our brain, it has to respond to the stimuli. Yes.
That has brought to me something that happened to me, that I had some issues, some things I had to complete. You remember, Sir Emmanuel, I told you that I am stressed, and you are like, maybe there were some things that you have not completed. So does that cause stress?
At times we find ourselves having goals, many times actually. Everybody has their own goal. And there are times that once we think, and sometimes we become perfectionists, and we want to do it at a certain way. And so if we find ourselves having not hit the bar properly, and we have underperformed, that could become a source of the stress. Just like Japhet is saying here, it is how we respond to that kind of a situation. So many times different people in different situations, there is an expectation, and that is an absolute. So once how you tackle all that then brings you to a place where you start wondering, am I doing the right thing? Have I gone wrong? And we're living at a time where everybody wants to be good, but how we perceive the things that we have done and how we have done them, most of the times when we see like we have performed below the expected standard, then that could be a cause for stress.
That brings to my next question. What exactly causes stress?
Before we go to, I think let me just reiterate to your first question, so that we make our viewers to understand. You talked about that you had stress.
Yeah,
and then,
I was like, I'm a failure.
Yeah, you felt like you're a failure. Before I answer the question, I need to understand you that we have what you call types of stress, and here we talk about the acute stress. Acute stress, like now the stress that you are talking about, like you feel like we have those stresses that we think they are caused by short-term things, short-term goals like you have not achieved. That's what you call the acute stress. And again we have what you call chronic stress. Chronic stress, this is a stress that is for a long time, which is as said for the long time, like it has persisted, and all this stress they can cause other things. Now let me come to your question that you asked, what causes stress. Stress can be caused by many things. It can be caused by, first, we just look to our families. We have what you call conflicts. When we have conflict in the family, like now we talk about marriage conflict, whereby you get the husband and wife as a conflict, like they have some of the things that they don't agree upon, and once they don't agree upon, now you get that the person feels like he has not been treated well. Once you feel that you have not treated well, and not only being treated well, you can get where there is what you call the abuse in the house. We can have sexual abuse. We can have even physical abuse, where you get the wife has been beaten up. You can get even the man has been beaten up. Now here you get that all of them, they have what you call stress. They think that now they are at the end. They try to get the way they can maneuver so that they can live in, they can have a well-being. But because they are being pushed on, they are not being understood. Are you getting? Because now they are not being understood, they feel like now the life is coming to an end. That's one of the causes. Another cause that I can talk about is about poverty. Poverty is whereby you get people they lack money on what they can buy food for. They don't have money, they don't have jobs. You get that people now are having the problem. Another way that I want to make it brief, it's all about the achievement in education. You get whereby I want to achieve, let's say for example, I want to have a degree. I am a student. We have the students who are aiming higher, and then unfortunately things happen. You get that he was expecting to get A so that he can go straight to the university. Now you get he has got a D+. You see that one, it causes stress. Not only that, we have even what you call chronic diseases. Chronic diseases here, we talk about like our parents who are aged. Right now you can get they have the conditions that which has been they have to be taken care. We have what you call diabetes. We have what you call high blood pressure. This one makes them to have more stress. Yes.
So, Sir EMMANUEL, you have something to add on the causes of stress? Anything that causes stress? Maybe.
I think in general, JAPHET has covered that.
Yeah.
And different ages also. At different ages, people have their stress. Funny thing, as you interact even with children, you will see in their disagreements, again, what he said when he talked about conflict, that becomes a source of stress. And performance in school, just like he said, and even in relationships. So getting to understand all these things, it's all stress is caused mostly by relational issues. Things that we come through, things that we are going through, and a feeling sometimes, my brother, you will agree, a feeling of sometimes when you feel inadequate. Can I handle this properly? Has this task been given that is beyond me? So before you can actually get to settle down, that makes you, because nobody wants to fail, but everybody wants to perform to the maximum.
So I believe everything that is connected to living thing has its signs. What are some of the signs of stress?
Again, signs and symptoms of stress. Now we have what you call, we have the headache, we have the stomach upset, we have the loss of appetite, or you can have you can have more appetite, like whereby you eat a lot. Again, not only that, we can have this. You get people this what you call lack of sleep. People lack sleep. People don't sleep. We call it in a medical term. We call it insomnia. And also we can have those people who can have hypersomnia. Those people who can sleep a lot. Not only that, another symptoms which I can talk about, it is about people you get they lack to concentrate. Like when the work they used to do, they cannot concentrate anymore. That's when you can't just say that people now are unable to do the small tasks that they have been doing. Yeah.
So Emmanuel, this may sound stupid, but
Nothing is stupid.
does those people who take drugs do it to maybe fight stress? Or
There are times that people will take drugs because they would want to calm themselves down, or in the thought of, and this is also, I think we will get to talk about that, like some of the things that you shouldn't do or should do when you're stressed out. Running towards drugs just numbs your mind in trying to solve that issue, but you find this issue is still there. And yes, people will run to alcohol, drugs, maybe even like just like fights, sex. There are many ways that people will try and just relieve themselves from stress.
I've been interacting with a lot of people who have been going through stress, and maybe you find them with sickness. Maybe Japhet, you talked about ulcers. Just briefly explain some of the diseases that you can go through when you have stress.
Okay, thank you. Again, before I reiterate on the question, there's the question that you asked about, does really drugs prevent someone not to have stress? I want to say that generally when you take drugs does not make you not to have stress, because stress, as we have said, stress it is something that you need to deal upon. It is something that you need to get away. How you can do it? If you can take drugs, let's say for example today I have what you call this marriage breakup. This marriage breakup, I've been hurted by my girlfriend. So once I take drugs, I think drugs cannot help me to just
They aggravate it.
They aggravate it, because it is like now you have a problem and then you just take a painkiller. When you take a painkiller, it will only solve for a day, and then the problem will be there. So the only way that we can advise our viewers is that stress needs people who are calm. You need to be calm, and then when you are calm, when you are sober, it's when you can get away, that you can deal with your stress. Let me come to the diseases that can be caused by stress. Chronic stress can cause depression. When you talk about chronic depression, it is when you have when you have stress, the long lasting of stress in your mind, it can cause depression. I mean, like now, like stress today, you are thinking. Let's say, for example, let me just give an example of now we have what you call breakup. Most people, they don't know how to cope with. They don't know how to cope with breakup. Today, let's say, for example, I'm married to a woman, and that woman told me now they have been married even for 10 years. We have been married for 17 years, 16 years, even 20 years, and now they have been told that there's no marriage. It takes a lot of energy. It makes people to overthink. And once you overthink, it causes the chronic stress. When it causes the chronic stress, this is where now you get it breaks into depression. When it goes into depression, if it is not well taken over, it can cause another disease and another disease that we can go. It can cause schizophrenia disease, which is a mental disorder, or it can cause bipolar. And another disease I can talk about stress can cause. It can cause high blood pressure. When it can cause high blood pressure, you see now people because how biologically how our body are created, the stresses, you know, it is the stress. It is all about it affects the normal functioning of the body. When it affects, you get even the way our blood is pumped. The stress is affiliated with this. So that's why you say that stress can cause high pressure. Not only high blood pressure, even when stress it is not taken well off, it can also cause diabetes. Diabetes. That's why we normally hear people talk about mtu anakuambia usinipandishe sukari. Simply that's because they know stress they are connected to stress are connected to diabetes. Not only that, I talked about the ulcers. When I talk about the ulcers, you know the way our body created, it is created in a way that when you get somebody is so annoyed, when somebody you get is so stressed, our body produces a lot of acid. And when it causes a lot of acid, this acid it goes to our stomach. When it goes to our stomach, it damages our there's some of the mucus which is in the stomach. This mucus and then it disappears. When it disappears, now that's when you can get that you have wounds on your stomach. These wounds, it is what you call ulcers. Yes.
So, for me, when I get someone, maybe tulikuwa maybe close sana, and then it happens that tukosane kidogo. Sometimes I tend to stay alone, and that thing disturbs a lot. Is that stress or something else?
That's part of the stress, yes. You see, once you get angry and you decide to go and just be alone, and most of the times you find some people that would want to just, and especially we have personalities. We have those that are extroverted and those that are introverted. And just by the way you think, most introverts would want to just go and be by themselves. But in the being by themselves, what they are doing is digesting kwa nini alinifanyia vile. Yani aliniona nimekuwa namna gani. Yani mimi tu ndo angesema vile, you see? And in that rationalization, you playing that tape in your mind again and again and again and again, you're having a conversation with yourself. That is part of stress. And just like, let me emphasize also what JAPHET is saying. Our bodies produces like HCl, hydrochloric acid, in the stomach. And as you start getting worked up, excessive hydrochloric acid is produced. And your body uses hydrochloric acid to help in the digestion. And what that does when you're stressed up, your body pH becomes more acidic. The best way that your body can operate is in an alkaline pH. The pH is what we get to measure the acidity or alkalinity of anything that is there. So it has been proved medically also that diseases can never work properly in places where the body is in an alkaline state. So when we increase that, one, yes, we have the peptic ulcers, stomach ulcers, and it is so easy also to even get to a place, as he was talking about, like the blood pressure increases, it affects your heart. And that's why sometimes maybe we have even seen in the movies, sometimes somebody gets, the older people, they get so worked up, and all of a sudden you find them getting a heart attack. So stress can actually get to affect you in very bad ways.
For me, I'm just using me as an example. For me, when I'm stressed, I stay alone. Some people, you get them getting angry, maybe they respond rude to others. What are some of the recognitions that you can know that you have stress?
How you can know that you have stress, I think the way you have said, you can agree with people, they can isolate themselves. And I think isolation, it can be one way that you can deal, but it needs a lot of it needs a lot of it needs a lot of training. So that because after all, we say that when you are calm, it is when you make the right decisions. It is then you can know how you can deal with your problem. But if you can be alone, and then being alone, you know, it's being alone. It is very dangerous for those people who don't know how to deal with it. Because being alone, that's when you get the stressors. That's when you get you overthink. When you overthink, it is when the stress goes higher. So we say that first, what you need to do is that you need separating yourself. It worsens the case. It comes to a worst case scenario. But what I'm trying to say, another thing, that if you want to know that the person has stress, we have said, I think we have said that you can get even the person does not want to interact with people. Another thing, you get even the person has started to separate himself, to isolate. I've talked about to isolate. Not only isolation, you can get even the person, if it was to coming to work, is not coming to work. You get even he has started to have what you call absenteeism. Not only absenteeism, we can have even the way he's doing the work. He doesn't work. He lacks concentration. He does not concentrate on the work. Not only the work, if it was the students, now you get even the performance. Yeah. The performance in class, it goes down. If it is about, when you talk about even in the family, not only the family, when you talk about, if it's about the women, both women and men, you get their sexual desire, it goes down. Yeah. What I want to make our viewers know, that stress does not provide an environment where people can have good sex, because you get people are overthinking sexually. Their feelings goes down. Not only that, even the stress again. When people have stress, you can get even they have started talking for themselves. They have what's called self-talk. When they talk already, you feel like wakona mtu, but yakona mtu. He's talking for himself. So that's another way that you can know someone has stress. Not only that, if it's about the person was drinking. This, for example, he was drinking. He started to drink more and more. So that he uses that one. It's an advanced mechanism, you know. But that one, we have said, it does not solve the problem out. Another way that you can get even the person, if the person was dressing well, you can get he has stopped. If it is about to do some of the simple task, you get even about taking shower. You get the person has stopped taking shower. You get even the person. Not only that, you get even the person, when you talk, he does not concentrate. Simple task, all right? When you are on the group, you can get the person he can look to the one point. You get that he's concentrating, he's looking there. So that's without even changing the direction, you can know that this person has stress.
Thank you very much, Sir Emmanuel. Do we have a red warning flag that indicates that someone is much stressed?
Rephrase that question, please.
Let's say maybe you are stressed, and there are some of maybe they are just causes that shows that you are much
someone that is stressed, they easily become so irritable. And let's bring this into the family, where husband and wife are either stressed. Either of them is stressed. And it all of a sudden, because their perception has changed, they hear, and this is also in the communication, because this person is so preoccupied with the things that they are going through. So your wife can say something to you, and all of a sudden you find somebody throwing a word, or they just become so angry that would lead even into violence. Or a man or a wife misunderstands because of the things that she's going through, and she lacks an understanding of what the husband may be meant. And therefore, she goes ahead and just throws a word. And this is also seen in the way they treat their children. Sometimes you find people yelling at children. And yes, withdrawal is another way, where somebody's just gone. Or even as they do their things, you find them looking like zombies. You know? Until you come and say, hey, Japhet, and what are you thinking? Oh, nothing. But it's always good to get to a place that you can be able to talk about what you're going through to people that are even close to you. That way then they can start helping you in maybe looking at the different perceptions of this thing. You just started out by talking about like when you were going through a situation and you talked to me about it. And you see, when you were going through that, I got to a place of helping you look at different perspectives. And in a very short period of time, I was happy when you said, hey, guess what? I think I'm tackling this. I think I can do this. And that was such a pleasure to me. So yes, people get to that place of, apart from irritability, they become absent-minded. You find somebody lacking again the concentration on whatever they are doing. Everything is just going down. But again, part of the solution is getting to talk and getting to the root cause of that which is causing it.
Mr. Japhet, we have physical feeling and the emotional feeling when you are stressed. Give us the emotional feelings that you feel when you are stressed.
Oh, when you talk about emotional feelings, it is when you can feel like you can just feel like you are unable to concentrate. You feel like you are under pressure. Like now the feelings, the way you feel like you can be irritated, you can be hungry. That's when the way you can express your emotions. I can express like now my brother said like we have what you call defense mechanism. When we do have defense mechanism, this is where you get now you have made me like now in a family, husband and wife, they are being stressed. Maybe because now he has not been attended, he has been not attended. You know what he is doing? He can express those emotions to the children. You getting? Now you can start beating the children. That's one way that you can know this person is doing what? He is on stress. And when we talk about physical, it is when now you get even the body is weak. You feel like physically you feel that you are weak because of stress. You feel like you are weak. Another way that you can talk about it is even the cognitive. You are unable to carry even the things because of that. You know. And another thing I can talk about. Physically again, you can get it's about even the joints. You feel like the joints are weak, and then now you get you can have physically even you can have the headache. And then not only that, you know when you are so stressed up, when you are under pressure, you can feel physically you feel like your head is big. You are unable to carry your head. You know. Not only that, physically again, you can get that's when you talk even the way you feel the way your stomach you have talked even your stomach. You can get even we have the women themselves once they have stress they can have skin diseases. Not only that, you can get even the people when people are stressed. You can get even if the other people when they are stressed physically. You can look at them even the way when you have eye contact. Their eyes are changed to red, and then you know, those people who are stressed, they cannot make eye contact. When they don't make eye contact, you can just know that this person is under stress. Yes.
Thank you very much. I believe in this world, hakuna kisiwa tuna. So, do we have medications that relieve stress? Maybe medicine or, in short, do medications relieve stress?
Medications that are there, I think, give relief to the symptoms that are caused by stress. Once you find like you're having headaches or body aches and you go to a doctor, it's very advisable that you don't go over-the-counter medication because sometimes you do not fully understand what is happening in your body. So it's very good that you go to a doctor that will prescribe the proper medication. Because at times you find people saying, oh, ninaumwa tumbo, alafu anakimbilia anasema nenda kaniletee maybe some acto pale. But what is the cause of all that? You know, the kind of headache, is it a migraine? Is it the normal headache? What kind of a headache are you having? And by sitting with a medical practitioner, then they get to help you and listen to you because part of the diagnosis is trying to see how can I properly prescribe the right medicine so that then you can calm down.
Yeah.
And yes, part of the, as you go through counseling, they give you some medication where you can actually get to calm your nerves. And if you're so hyperactive, and you're getting what he had mentioned, insomnia, then you find yourself getting to be able at least to sleep. Because part of the stress solution is getting that low, getting to a place that you are relaxed.
Thank you very much. Kuri muna wa Facebook agakora mundu gwitoka wajikora akiuga mitambo haiko clear huko Kilifi, gwehoka mwerekeri wako ni ukorwa kirora. Mundu gwitwa Magi Princess gaigucokeria ngatho rakiuga imwena wa Murang'a kundura gitwa mukira na njereria yagirire ririkana urathi na mbere na gutuma ndumiriri kuria message kana ndumiriri nguhe ni gifungo mugwanja gifungo imwe mugwanja mugwanja gifungo gifungo igere inya. Kuri muna wa Facebook ni Nice TV KE mushi wa gikeno ndugakiriganiro kuri wa Twitter ni Nice TV Kenya, YouTube Nice TV Kenya na Instagram Nice TV Kenya. I want us to get to the real life things. So we as the youths, you get someone somewhere is stressed because ameachwa maybe rejected by a crushy, ameachwa na girlfriend, you get someone heading up to commit suicide. What can we do to avoid these things?
Thank you very much. Before I proceed, I think there's when you were talking about treatment, let me just give my take. When you talk about the treatment or treatment of stress, we have how you can manage stress. One of the ways that you can manage stress, it is number one, you need to know how to manage your time. When you know how to manage your time, it's one way that you can heal stress. Another way, it's about, we have some of the therapies that you can use. We have what they call music therapy. When you talk about music therapy, is when you feel like when you are so stressed, you can put a music that you love, and then it makes you to cool down. When you cool down, and then now you can be able to make the decisions, or you can call yourself for the meeting. When you call yourself for the meeting, and then you decide what you can do. Not only that, and then another thing, that another way that we can treat stress, we have what you call meditation. When you talk about meditation, this is when you go somewhere and then you relax. You can close your eyes, and then when you close your eyes for some moment, you meditate. You think of the problem. You think on how you can work out on your problem. Not only that, when you talk about again on stress, another way that you can deal with stress, we have another therapy that we call it ecotherapy. When you talk about ecotherapy, this is when now you go around the nature. You look for the trees. You can walk around the trees as you think of your problem. Another way that you can deal with stress, I want to make it our viewers to understand. It is you can do exercise. Exercise is the best. The research that was done by the USA University, I think it states that those people who do exercise on a daily basis, their level of stress, it goes down. Not only that, I want to finish by saying that stress is something that we can manage. Now let me just come to the question that you have asked. When you talk about rejection in our country, not only in our country, and even in the globally, rejection has been one of the keys that makes the most people to have stress. Not only stress, it can also cause suicide. Now, there's some of the two ways that we can tell our viewers that they can deal with rejection. And one of the ways that our youths can take rejection, the first of the things, it is about they take rejection as protection. When you talk about rejection as protection, now it is we talk about like you have been prevented on something to happen. Like now, let's say for example, I have a girlfriend who loves me so much. Now because there's bad things that were to happen to me, now I have been prevented for that. When you talk about this, let's say for example, I have someone, the girlfriend that I have is very alcoholic. Now that I have moved out of that girlfriend, or she has moved from me, I've been prevented from the dramas and the things that which is going to happen. Not only that, I want to have the data viewers. This one, they need to take it very serious. We have what you call psychological projection. You take once, if it is a girlfriend who has said that I'm incapable for the love. When she looks at me, she says I'm black. When she looks at me, she says that JAPHET is not able to provide for me. And on the really sense, I have something. I can afford myself. I have a salary. I can take her out. Not because of his weakness. When we talk about psychological projection, it is when we mean that when someone needs to transfer these feelings towards you, it is not that I'm weak, but it is because he feels that I'm weak. His perception on me, he thinks that I'm weak. That's when he's rejecting me. So that one, it does not take. If you take those two things at a time, I mean, like, you can solve rejection. So I want to say that the only way that you can sort of stress out from young people, the only way that you can solve to the people who have been rejected, not only, you know, when you talk about rejection, rejection is a big topic, you know. You can be even rejected from work. You can be told that you are unable to work. Not that you are unable to work. Now it's because of psychological projection. Now he feels that you are unable. You are doing your work. But because of his perception, because of his ill motives on you, he said that you are unable. But if you can be taken somewhere, you can work very effective. So I want to say that rejection, let us take it as psychological projection. And then if it is about the work that we have, anything that we have rejected, let us take it as what? As a psychological projection. Not only psychological projection, let us take it as protection. Those are the two ways that we can deal with rejection.
Thank you very much. Simon, something to add on that?
Yes. Young people think it is the end of the world. And here, let me bring the aspect of parenting also. As parents, I mentioned about the week before last that it is good that parents get to understand on how they will tackle their children. At the time that your kids are growing up, spend time with them. Make them your friends. I have a daughter who's in university right now. And one of the things that she does is that we talk like friends. But we understand that there are boundaries that we talk about, like, this is daddy and this is my daughter. And we talk about the things that she's going through and, hey, dad, you see, this is what is happening to me. And at times she's so down. But she gets to that place of telling me, this is what it is. Get into a place that you can have a relationship with your children, with your parents, or somebody that is very close to you will help you overcome the kind of stress that comes from being dumped. And also, again, let me support what my brother is saying. Exercise is good. You know, you don't really have to go pump up in the gym so that you can just have the muscles and all that. But go exercise, because as your energy and as your adrenaline gets to go down, you start having a different perception of the things that you were having. Music, as you listen to music, if you love dancing, dance. You know, it soothes you. If you love to sing, sing it out. Do something that is out of the ordinary. And let me add the last one, that there is something also called earthing. Toa viatu. Toa viatu. And ukasimame tu kula raundi kwenye nyasi tu na ile. That takes away some of the stress that is in your body as you look into nature.
I'll be trying earthing very soon.
let me just add something that I feel like it's a sad. When you talk about again on something that I want to talk about, how can we train our children so that they know how to reject text. There's some of the two terms I want to use here. There was a time I talked about it, but right now I want to talk two terms. One, we need to train our children to have what you call delay gratification. When we talk about delay gratification, it's now like now you have your young child who is around 5 years. Now when you talk about this lady who has 5 years, we talk about like now he has asked you, Baba, I want you to buy buy me ice cream. When you talk about that, I want you to buy ice cream, you know, you don't buy immediately. When you buy the immediately, that young child grows up, and then he knows that everything that he has to be provided. So I want to categorically say like this. Delay gratification, it is when you tell them, now wait for, let it take a long time. Try, so that when they are going to be told that just to wait, at the moment we tell them to wait, that's when we are training them how it is taking place. And not only that, you know what makes we have delayed gratification and instant gratification. When we talk about instant gratification, of which our children have, they want things to work instantly. But things cannot work instantly. When they have been told to wait, that's one way that the young children can be told on how to do with rejection.
My last question is about the old people. Some of the diseases that you mentioned are brought, most of them you find them with the old people, the diabetes, the hizo magonjwa zote umetaja. So what can they do to avoid these things? Maybe hizo magonjwa. What are some of the preventions?
Or the prevention measures that prevention measures that these old people they can do. Now, when you talk about someone has someone who knows has diabetes, he has to go for the medication. Not only the medication, the person needs to understand what triggers that stress. Let's say, for example, when I know like when you talk about something, it makes me to feel irritated. I need to understand like people need to understand another perspective. Like if let's say, for example, it is my children who have taken to the university. They have said they want to go to my university, and then me, I feel like I should take them, let them sit down, let them have dialogue, okay? Because without having dialogue, that being irritated, it makes the condition to be worse. Not only that, when you talk about again the stress, the way they can deal with stress, let them take time to sleep, let them take time to walk away in situations that can make their diseases to be worse. Not only that, what about what about do they understand? You know, age comes. People don't. When people say that they are getting old, it stresses them. Let them accept it positively. That now you are getting old. Once you have been told there's some of the conditions that you have, accept it. Okay? If you have diabetes, you know most people die because they don't accept the reality. And when you don't accept the reality, you just die. So I want to tell that our people, whenever you have been told you have the condition, accept the condition, take medication, take all the messages that you have been told by the doctor or the expert. Thank you.
Sir Emmanuel, there was some time back I told you that when I grow old, I want to become like you. What are your ways? Just in 1 minute.
Yes. By the way, I'm in my 50s.
Yeah.
So one of the ways that I have kept on living right is a positive attitude and outlook towards life. I remember one book that I read and it helped me a lot. The author is called Arthur Williams. And the title of the book is a funny one. All you can do is all you can do. And all you can do is enough. Getting to understand that there is that which I can do. And at times I will fail. Sometimes, as long as I question myself, I go sit back and say, hey, did you do to the best of your ability in that situation? If my answer is yes, I'll relax with the outcome. Because here you do not have to look at anything else, because that's all that you can do. But with every day that passes, one of the ways that I say is that tomorrow, okay, today, because I don't have tomorrow, it's not assured, I will live to the best of my ability today. Yesterday is gone.
Thank you very much. Another stupid question. Have you ever cried because of stress? I heard that when you cry when you have stress, it relieves. Is that true?
Yeah, it is true. One way that you can express, you know, it is you're expressing emotions. if you can, when you are so stressed, just we tell people just cry. And those people, they say, for example, if I've lost my parents, I've lost a need, the one way you can tell that we encourage them to cry. When you cry, you get relieved. So that we need even to get this culture, this African culture that we say that men don't cry. You have to cry. We tell them to know Sukuma, they cry. Once they cry, they get relieved. Because if they cannot cry, that's a grief period. Grief period can cause more harm. It can cause another disease. I think we'll have a data to really talk about grief.
Yeah. Tell us your name and where can I find you.
Thank you. My name is NYAKINYANYA JAPHET. I'm a psychologist and a mediator. You can get me on our Facebook, NYAKINYANYA JAPHET. You can get even me on, if you want to know more about the mental health, you can go to the YouTube, just write NYAKINYANYA JAPHET, and then you will just follow, you will just get more videos, and then you will know how you can solve your problem. Not only that, I will also, for those ones who want to speak to me live, you can take my number, it's 0711-731-863. Thank you so much for watching us, and keep us watching as we improve our lives.
Thank you very much for coming. Sir Emmanuel, have you ever cried?
I cry a lot, by the way. Crying is not a shame.
So I should start crying.
Yes, if you do not cry, because when you cry, there is that relief, and you get to pour out that which was there, and it's good for your own health, like he has said.
Yeah.
When people say men don't cry, you are bottling up so much. And it is always said, also in psychology, when it's like a bottle of champagne, you keep on shaking it, and the cork is still up there. In the end, it will just burst. Yes.
Tell us your name, where we can find you.
My name is EMMANUEL CHEGE, and you can find me on Facebook as Emmanuel N.Chege. You can find me still with the other page where I do my encouragement, Wakanda Man Speaks. And my telephone number, just in case you would like to talk, is 0792-196157. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Baba
Toda.
Yeah. Just remember. Ngatho cia mwanya muroreri wa ceceni ya Nice TV nĩ gũkenyitanĩra na ithuĩ mũthenya wa ũmũthĩ thĩinĩ wa program itũ ya motivation. Tũgĩtigĩrĩra maũndũ maku nĩ maikara wega, na ngwĩhoka mũthenya wa ũmũthĩ nĩ wakorwo ũgĩthoma kĩndũ kuma kũrĩ jeshi yakwa mwena ũrĩa ũngĩ. Ndũgathiĩ haraya ndĩracokereria metha-inĩ ya mohoro ngorwo ngĩkũmenyithia marĩa matinda makĩhanĩka gũkũ bũrũri-inĩ hamwe na nja wa itoka cia bũrũri. Thank you very much.
Urerorera Nice TV.